Hello everyone, welcome. It's that time of the year. The kiddos are headed back to school and probably already in school by the time this video publishes. But I thought I would go ahead and share a back to school themed pop-up box card using some Echo Park products and the Lawn Fawn pop-up die set. All the products used in this video are going to be listed in the description below. This is the back to school set. It has a stamps and dies, 6x6 paper pad. There's also a 12x12, but since I'm a card maker, I just use the 6x6. And there's also coordinating cardstock, so your reds match, because you all know how hard it is to match a red. And the teals and the greens and the browns and everything that's in the paper pad match the cardstock. So we're going to go ahead and die cut the base out of 80-pound Nina Solar White. And then I also cut two more of the the pop-up box set itself. I cut that two more times. I cut it out of red, and I cut some out of the teal. The cardstock, that's the coordinating cardstock, isn't exactly strong enough to hold to the shape of the pop-up box. So I went ahead and just used the 80-pound, and I'm going to cover it. The adhesive that I'm using is scrapbook.com, and it's the same as any other double-sided adhesive. It's the strong double-sided adhesive. The release paper comes off like magic, and it is really great adhesive. I'm really liking it, and it's a super price point on it too. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting the adhesive on all of my little tabs to build my pop-up box. Putting all the adhesive down, and I have 3 sections, I believe, of inside of my card. So I'm putting down all of the adhesive on the tabs, and I'll show you in just a minute how I put my tabs together. So you peel off the paper, or release paper, off of one tab, and you line it up. And the easiest way to do this is to line up the bottom edges on a grid mat and then press it into place. And voila, you have your box card there. Reinforce all of those fold lines with a Teflon bone folder and make sure that everything will close up nicely. One thing that I forget to do is where those tabs should go, what part of the box they go in. So I always double check and make sure that my tabs go in the right place. And I realized that I needed one more tab, so I die cut that, put a little piece of washi tape on there so it didn't shift too much on the paper, and I ran that through my Platinum 6 Spellbinders die cut machine. I'm sorry if I sound a little stopped up. I've been fighting a cold that I had last week, and it still wants to hang on pretty tight. Add a little bit more adhesive on that tab, and I line mine up on the inside of my card before I put it together. I don't put my box together first. I line everything up on the, see, I'm pausing and thinking about making sure where these need to go. So you can do this one of two ways. You can do this on the middle short end or the short end. The short end. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting them placed. I actually put them a little low, but I fixed that eventually. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put these on the very end where I want them. And I'm stacking them all up in a row and spacing them out a little bit so that they're not right on top of each other. And then I will pull the release paper off of each of the tabs and fold that end over them, and then voila, I have perfect placement. Ta-da! And then you do the exact same thing for the other way. And you can make sure that all of your tabs are lined up right there as well. See how easy that release paper comes off? I'll just absolutely love it. And then you just fold it over. Ta-da! Now we'll pull the release paper off of the tabs, the very last tab, and then we're going to fold that over, and that lines up perfect. Now I'm going to decorate my box, and I add the different colored papers on the outside of it and all of that good stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play some music while we do this. I do want to mention that I did Copic color some of the stamped images. I Copic colored all of those and then die cut those out. I did not show that in this video because when I stopped this video, it was 3.5 hours long. And that was only me pausing a couple of times to do a few different things, but it was about 3.5 hours long, so I got it down to 20 minutes, and I had to take out the Copic coloring part. But I'm going to play some music and put this together, and I'll be back at the end so we can talk. welcome back. A couple things I'd like to note while I was putting this together. I used some heavier clear transparency sheets to put these together so that I could stick up my house and all of the bus and all of that kind of stuff, so it would stick up in the air. And the things that I glued, the glue does dry clear so you don't see it, and some of them I used adhesive, the double-sided adhesive from scrapbook.com, and that doesn't show either, especially when you have everything stuck down in there really well. I just cut the transparency into strips of about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, depending on what the item actually was. The other thing that I would like to note is that there's the sign that's on the back of the pop-up box card is one of the patterned papers, and I rounded the corners on that using just a corner chomper. So I didn't cut it any way special or anything like that. It wasn't part of, it wasn't cut like that. I actually cut that and rounded the corners on it. All of the stamped images, you saw an appearance by my puppy, Jessie. She wanted to make sure that everything was up to par and looked good. So she was sitting in my lap while I was coloring, and she wanted to check things out real quick, and I finally had to make her get down because she wouldn't stay off the table. But that was my puppy, Jessie. She's 8, been with me for 8 years. And she's a little stinker. She likes to come in and sit in my lap while I craft, and she's my buddy. So I just added all of these little things from the stamp set, and it's a pencil and an alarm clock and a light bulb and a globe and an apple and like a little atom and a school bus and a schoolhouse and some scissors. And I used a bunch of the different pattern papers from the set. There's one that has strips of different things in it, and that's what the wood that has the tab on it, that's in the front there. And I did scissors and a stripe and a couple different things. The back of the box is blank, so that's where you could write your message if you wanted to send that to somebody. And I didn't use all of the stuff, but there it is, and here's the final look at the card. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.